Welcome to Madame Raven's. This way to the library. She's been expecting you.
I accidentally proposed to the Forrest Spirit. Finale. What is a human wedding like? Haru asked as we sat beside one another on my back porch steps. You mean you got into this without knowing? I asked him with wide eyes. As did you. He smiled elegantly. His form was adult now, I'd say 20s or 30s. That chibi kid had somehow grown taller than me, and I had to look up slightly to answer. I guess you've got me there. I have no idea what a wedding would be like to you either. It means we're bonded for eternity, he spoke matter-of-factly. And you still want to go through with it. I mean, this body won't last for eternity. He placed his hand atop mine. It is my greatest wish. I marveled at him for a moment. What did I do to get you to like me so much anyway? You are you. Yeah, that's not much to go off of. He struggled to explain. You are home. Home. He looked to the woods. Since the time I was transplanted here, many have admired me in passing. My eyes narrowed. Mm-hmm. He laughed through his nose. But you were the first to seek refuge in my branches. You shared your secrets and made food with my leaves. Sakura Muchi? He nodded. Together it felt like what humans call home. As you grew older and more beautiful, you would no longer climb, and I missed the feel of you in my branches. I was lonely. I wanted you to stay, always. Oh, I had to hide my blush. You can really forget those secrets. That was only kid stuff. Never, he grinned. They are my treasures. And if I ever meet the one named Lisa, I shall inflict swift vengeance. I had to wipe a tear from laughing so hard. Please don't. I don't even know what happened to her after middle school. Good. He seemed appeased. Now inform me of your human wedding customs. There's not much to tell. There's an officiant, and guests, and flowers. You shall have those, he agreed, though we both discussed limiting human guests. Some things that may differ from your, culture are the bachelorette party and honeymoon. He furrowed his brow. A festival for bachelors? Sort of a farewell to being single. Typically people of the same sex go out and drink and do stupid things. We do not have this custom, but I will make it so. He put a hand to his chin thoughtfully. I know just the ones to enjoy stupid things. On Tuesday night I was awoken to the feel of a hand pressed against my lips. In the light of the moon I looked up to see a buxom blonde with a finger for silence to her lips. Her coy smile grew into a toothy grin. Time to play, little sister. My eyes grew wide as I struggled. No, that won't do. A brunette wrapped her hand around one wrist, while a redhead wrapped her hand around the other. All were as beautiful and as brilliantly proportioned as a Disney cartoon. Come to think of it, they reminded me of the girls who would hang around Gaston. Her mother's waking, the redhead glanced up. Come on. They lifted me upwards, each grabbing a section of my body and carrying me off into the night. Recalling Yuki Onna, and Tengu encounters, I squirmed and bit the fingers at my mouth. "She's like us," the redhead whispered to her sisters before biting my ear in return. I winced at the slight pain. "We like you too." They all nipped at a part of my body. My face was free after we reached the woods. My surroundings were dark and damp. "Where are you taking me?" I spoke into the chilly air, noticing I was still in pajamas. "The gathering place." The blonde looked down on me from over her shoulder. "Some kind of cult?" My heart sped up. They all snickered. "No, little sister," the brunette answered. "The place where we all meet in merriment." "Is that a riddle?" "Do you like riddles?" The redhead excitedly looked up from my feet. "I guess." "What fun! What fun!" they chanted. "Close your eyes until I say," the blonde instructed, "or you'll be lost forever." She looked at me with a smirk. "Would you like that, little sister?" I shook my head and closed my eyes tightly as warm, red light danced upon my eyelids. The red was soon replaced with a flickering glow. "Open," she directed. I warily opened my right eye for a peek. Upon hearing the muffled sounds of rowdy enjoyment, I opened the other. The flickering light was a lantern at the entrance of a bar. "A bar?" My jaw dropped as they relinquished me to the ground. "A place for one to act foolish." The blonde's face broke out in a coy smile, as instructed. "Haru," I breathed in relief. "Not here." The redhead tilted her head curiously. "Not here," the brunette echoed with a pout. "Come," the blonde chimed in as she grabbed my hand and tugged me inside. Yokai surrounded us at every table, yet not one examined me suspiciously. "Are they used to humans?" I look around. "No. Many don't venture far from the gathering place." Another thought occurred to me. "Are you human?" They snickered once more. "They think I'm one of you, don't they?" "Indeed," the brunette nodded. "Little sister has our scent." "Be seated," the blonde directed as they sandwiched me into a round booth. A little too close for comfort. I think the redhead even nuzzled me. "Sake, beer, wine." They all lifted their hands as the drinks magically appeared. "I guess you don't have to tip the bartender," I laughed, as they looked at me quizzically. "What would you like, little sister?" The blonde tipped back her sake. "Whiskey." I raised my hand triumphantly as the amber liquid appeared, the same warm color as Haru's eyes. Without a clock or reason to be kicked out, I'm not sure how late we stayed, but the girls were getting sloppy. The blonde was searching the crowd for prey from her leisurely spot at the table. The redhead was braiding my hair, and the brunette was going on about how Forrest Spirits were romantics. She was sad that Kami-sama was getting married. "Married," I echoed. "That's right, I need to get back for tomorrow." "Stay," the redhead mumbled, as I noticed 3 of something coppery waving behind her. "It'll be better if you stay." The brunette leaned forward with 6 chestnut tails. I turned to the blonde and counted 9. "Kitsune," I exhaled. She licked the sake from her lips and gave a smile. "You are well learned, little sister." My heart fluttered with adrenaline. "May I, can I go back now?" The blonde set her drink on the table. Her face became stern. "No fear," she spoke under her breath. The rowdiness that filled my ears began to dim. "What?" I breathed. "If you say that I can't help but—" She shook her head imperceptibly. "They will smell it. They will know." I swallowed as I fought the feeling creeping up my throat. Heads started to turn my way. "I'll miss you, little sister." The redhead threw her arms around my legs as we tumbled to the floor. I looked at her confused expression and began to laugh. The sisters laughed along with me, as well as some of the yokai in the pub. That was right. It didn't matter if we were human or yokai. We were all just creatures transported to a strange land, living our lives the best we knew how. There were family. There were friends. There was whiskey. I was home. "Come along, little sister," the nine-tailed fox offered a hand to pick me up from the floor, while the brunette helped her sibling. "I feel we've been foolish enough." I nodded in agreement. One thing I must say about yokai alcohol is that it doesn't leave you with a hangover. I can see why the Fox sisters, my bridesmaids, were so keen to indulge. And if I had any qualms about my bachelorette party, which I did, I could not speak of them to Haru. He refused to see me until I was walking down the aisle, or shall I say, the forest path. There was no seats for the guest. Each preferred to stand and watch from the shadow of the trees, save for the human guests that carry lanterns to light my way. We were married under the light of the worm moon. As I looked up at the bright celestial body, I couldn't help but be reminded of the moon festival that had brought me here in the first place. My dress had arrived on my bed the morning I had returned with the Fox sisters. As I brushed my hand over the fabric, I had a feeling it was made from the very petals of the cherry tree I was about to marry. A coronet of living blossoms was laid beside it upon my bedspread. Haru was right. There would be flowers. There would always be flowers. The train was long, but not wide enough to snag on the bramble along my path. As instructed by the Fox sisters, I was barefoot, the cold earth softly ensuring me this was real with each step. I halted my procession in front of the cherry tree, which at that very moment unfurled into full bloom beneath the moonlight. I could hear my mother gasp, so my groom had a flair for the dramatic. He appeared sitting amidst the branches. His silver hair was decorated in the same coronet, differing in upward branches. His clothing was similar to a kimono of the same petal-soft fabric, and he sported the most pleasing smile I had ever seen. I couldn't help but return as he stepped down and placed both of my hands in his. A tanuki appeared with glasses balanced on his snout. I nearly jumped at his sudden yowling speech that I could not comprehend. But Haru rubbed reassuring circles on my palms. Abruptly, the tanuki's speech switched to a language I could understand. Union eternal is sought by Chiu and Haru. The raccoon-like creature looked up. "What say you, Master Haru?" Haru looked from my hands to my eyes. "I do." "And you, human Chio?" "Just Chio is fine," I corrected him, before looking to Haru, who seemed to enjoy my comment. "I do." "Then, by your kiss, shall fate abide." I closed my eyes as his lips pressed upon mine, and the petals rained down around us. The sound of applause echoed in the empty wood as I became the Forrest Spirit's wife. So quoth this raven. My darlings, this is just a little short finishing piece on that lovely story. I hope you enjoyed. And a thank you to you all for coming to listen. And a special thank you to my Patreon supporters, Ermin Case, Darren and Jennifer Dodd, and Callisti Nick. If you like this, please hit the little button to let me know. If you didn't, hit the little button to let me know. leave a comment. I'm always glad to talk with you, my darlings. I'm open to suggestions and criticisms, critiques. If you have not subscribed, please do so and ring the little bell so you know when to come up and see me. And I will talk to you next time, my darlings. Farewell.